Where is he? Zara whispered as she tapped her phone with her shining fingernails. Our apartment used to feel like a beautiful dream, with fancy chairs and soft light. But now, it felt like a golden prison. Everything was too quiet. The silence made fun of her. The dark corners felt like they were talking, saying scary things she didn't want to hear. For the first time, Zara felt very empty. All her power was because of a man. But now it was gone. She had no children, no real story with him, nothing to hold on to. Shuka wasn't picking up his phone. It was far away, sitting quietly in his mother's house in Anambra. She was the one who gave birth to him, the one who knew him before he had money, before he became proud. Mama Obasi looked at him with eyes full of thought, but she stayed quiet for a long time. Then she said softly, "A good man does not forget who gave him cover when it rained." Shuka felt his heart beat faster. He hadn't told her anything, but mothers always know. She added, "Adaeze does not shout, but she is strong, like white thunder. If you throw away the calabash that carried your water for years, don't be surprised when the new ones start to leak." Shuka couldn't speak. He felt ashamed. "She didn't call me," Mama said. "That woman is not fighting you, my son. She is getting ready to bury the man you become, the one who hurt her." Those words stayed in Shuka's heart even after he left the village. Back in Lagos, Adaeze started living differently. She smiled more with her children. She started a small group with other church women, helping widows and wives who were left behind. She didn't talk about her pain, but her quiet strength was louder than any gossip. She started going to meetings in the neighborhood again. People looked at her in a new way. Even Musa, the gateman, began calling her Madam with more respect. Then one day, court papers arrived. Adaeze was asking for full custody of the children. She wanted support and a share of everything. The papers were sent to Shuka's office. When he read them, it felt like something hit him in the chest. He rushed to see Zara in Lekki, hoping to feel better. But Zara had changed too. She wanted sweet words, promises, a ring. Things Shuka wasn't sure he could give anymore. So that night, he didn't talk much. And for the first time, he couldn't sleep well beside her. Across the city, Adaeze lay on her bed. She wasn't with any man. She was with peace. Her children were safe. Her heart was getting better. She had stayed quiet before, but now her voice had meaning. This is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of Adaeze's new life. Because sometimes, when the girls want to show the world a woman's true power, they let her burn quietly until she becomes a fire. The rain poured heavily over Lagos, hitting rooftops, melter shops, and buses like loud drums. Thunder roared like an angry beast. In Surulere, Adaeze stood by a window, watching the rain turn streetlights into blurry golden drops. She usually liked the rain, but tonight, it felt different, like a warning. She turned away and lit a candle on her prayer altar. Her mother's Bible was open to Psalms. Beside it was a wedding photo. Adaeze is smiling, and Shuka standing tall and proud. That version of Shuka was gone. The man she loved had changed into someone she barely knew. Adaeze knelt to pray, not with fear, but with strength. God, I am your daughter. Maybe I've been quiet too long, but now, help me protect what is mine. Don't let another woman take what I suffered for. Fight for me, like you did for Esther and Ruth. Meanwhile, across Lagos in a fancy lounge on Victoria Island, Shuka sat in a leather set. 2 drinks in. Even with alcohol in his system, he still felt guilty. His friends were laughing, but he wasn't smiling. Guy, you've made it. Zara is too fine. I'm jealous. One of them shouted over the music. Shuka forced a laugh. You won't understand. He checked his phone again. Adaeze had sent a message. The children asked about you today. I didn't know what to tell them. He quickly locked the screen. Shame was too loud in his chest. His love for Zara was fading. And Zara, on the other hand, was busy trying to protect her image. Following advice from her mentor, Madam Meluho, she posted a cryptic message online. Some women smile in public but try to poison you in secret. Thank God I'm covered. Comment rolled in. Let them hate, you are a queen. But others weren't fooled. Isn't this another woman's husband you are showing off? Zara deleted the comment, but it shook her. She needed to distract people fast. So she messaged a gossip blog. I have juicy news. A respected housewife in Surulere is secretly dating a quaint school principal. Want the full gist? It was a lie. Just a trick to ruin Adaeze's image. That same day, Adaeze got a call from her lawyer. Madam, someone just sent us a message saying you are having an affair. Adaeze laughed, but it was a painful laugh. Let them try, she said. I'm ready now. She sent a voice note to Shuka. You started this fight, Shuka, but I will end it. Not with hate, but with truth. In the morning, the city woke up as usual. Noisy, busy, full of life. But Adaeze felt something has changed. She dressed sharply in a neat Ankara blouse and black trousers. Her hair tie was bold. She walked like a woman who had nothing to hide. She went to her children's school. The false rumors were spreading, and she knew if she didn't stop them, they could destroy her. The principal welcomed her kindly. Mrs. Obi, this is nonsense. We don't believe it here. Adaeze gave a small smile. But the seed is planted. People will gossip. What do you want me to do? He asked. Let me speak at the next PTA meeting. I want to tell my whole story. You remind me of my mother, the principal said. She used to say, don't let lies speak louder than your truth. Zara's plan was already failing. The gossip blog posted a story, but people didn't believe it. Instead, screenshots of her affair with Shuka were going viral. Comments were hashed. Why try to bring down the wife after stealing her husband? Zara slammed her laptop shut. Hand shaken, she called Madam Eloho. Help me dig up something on Adaeze. Anything. I need something to ruin her. Eloho sighed. Zara, you're sounding desperate. Powerful woman, don't panic. They plan. Back in Surulere, Adaeze's son, Kamsi, came home from school. Mommy, someone said you're chasing on Daddy. Adaeze's heart cracked. She pulled him close. People lie when they are scared of the truth, but don't let their lies live in your heart. I believe you, Kamsi said. So that night, Adaeze wrote in a journal. Day 2. I'm done being silent. I'm not fighting a woman. I'm fighting lies, pride, and betrayal. I won't be a victim. I will write my own story. Shuka, sitting alone in his car, kept replaying a voice note. For the first time, he wasn't angry. He was scared. Because he knew Adaeze's truth was stronger than his pride. People across Lagos were now talking. The story had become bigger than gossip. It was a warning, a lesson. At home, Adaeze sat with her laptop, typing out her journal entries. Not to get revenge, but to heal. This isn't just about betrayal. It's about surviving. A woman's strength isn't in a man's promises, but in her own courage. She saved the file as the fire that didn't burn me. Elsewhere, Shuka sat at a quiet bar. The bartender looked at him and said, "You look like you are haunted." "I left my real life for a ghost in high heels," Shuka replied. "Then go find your real life, if they will take you back." Zara's life was falling apart. Her fans had turned against her. Browns called ties. And then a worse blow. A private chat where she plotted against Adaeze leaked online. The city now saw her for what she truly was. Meanwhile, Shuka returned to work. A staff whispered behind his back. His business partner told him, "Your legacy isn't just buildings. It's the home you broke." So that night, Shuka went to Adaeze's house. He knocked, holding simple flowers from an old roadside stall. Adaeze opened the door. "I saw your video," Shuka said. "You were amazing." "Thank you. I know sorry isn't enough, but I want to try." "Come in," she said. "Not as a husband, as a man who is ready to listen." Their daughter's mural on the wall showed their family smiling. For the first time in a long while, Shuka felt a small hope. But healing takes time. I don't hate you, Adaeze said later, but I don't trust you either. That's fair, he replied. Their daughter Shizom came into the room. Daddy, she asked. Yes, baby, he said, and she hugged him tightly. Adaeze watched, her eyes wet with tears. Shuka slept in the guest room that night, thinking hard about his mistakes. Zara, on the other hand, had lost everything. Her account was suspended. Her name was now linked with scandal. Madame Elo messaged her. You are on your own. Fix your mess or drown in it. Truly was unusually quiet that Saturday morning. The rains had stopped, but the wetness still clung to the air. The clouds parted reluctantly, allowing streaks of sunlight to pierce through. Adaeze sat outside on the veranda, sipping pap and munching on akara. Her mother, Madame Muzioma, had come visiting, and the air between them was filled with stories only silence could tell. Mama Muzioma had seen many Lagos mornings. She had buried a husband and raised 4 children on a trader's strength. As Cain, rich as dark cocoa, held the maps of time and survival. She didn't speak immediately, just watched her daughter and listened to the quiet. You let him in? She finally said. Adaeze nodded slowly. Just the guest room. Forgiveness is not foolishness, her mother added, staring at it. But it's also not charity. Don't carry him if he hasn't learned to walk beside you. Adaeze sighed. He says he wants to fix things. Then let him prove it with bricks, not words. Inside, Shuka was doing the dishes. A small hat, but it felt like moving a mountain. He scrubbed gently, careful not to break anything. Chisholm sat on the counter, feet swinging. Daddy, why did you leave us? She asked innocently. Shuka froze, the sponge in his hand dripping. I made a big mistake, Chisholm, he said. I thought I needed something more, but I didn't realize I already have everything. Mommy cried a lot. I know, he said, wiping a plate. And I will spend every day trying to make her smile again. Chisholm nodded, childlike wisdom radiating in her eyes. Then don't leave again. Shuka hugged her, feeling the weight of her word more than any slap. Elsewhere in Lekki, Zara wandered through her apartment like a ghost in a palace. Her followers had become critics. Her photos, once adored, were now subject of ridicule. She opened her DM and saw a flood of hateful messages. Then one stood out. Even a broken mirror reflects. Fix yourself, not your image. The words hit harder than she expected. Zara turned off her phone, walked to the mirror and stared. No filters, no ring lights, just her, raw and regretful. She picked up a journal, dusty, unopened since university, and began to write. Day 1. I used to believe beauty could get me anywhere. But now, I know character decides whether you stay. So back in Surulere, Shuka joined Adaeze and Mama Ozioma on the veranda. "Mama," he said respectfully, kneeling slightly, "I don't deserve your blessing, but I'm here to hand back your daughter's trust." Mama Ozioma eyed him, unimpressed but not hostile. "You are not the first man to fall," she said, "but let's see if you can rise without dragging others down." Adaeze watched the exchange, a flicker of something warming in her chest. Not love, not yet, but maybe a beginning. Because even broken vows echo with hope when met with repentance. Shuka's work had begun to pick up again, and he was making a real effort to spend time with Adaeze and Chisom. On one quiet Sunday afternoon, Shuka and Adaeze sat outside the house watching Chisom play with her friends. It was peaceful, something they hadn't felt in a long time. "You've come a long way, Shuka," Adaeze said, her voice soft but steady. He nodded. "I'm not the same man I was. I know I have a long road ahead, but I will walk it with you, Adaeze." For the first time in months, Adaeze felt a weight lift off her shoulders. Maybe, just maybe, there was hope for them after all. But when Adaeze thought things were starting to smooth out, Zara returned with a different approach. This time, it wasn't a confrontation. It was an apology. "I've been selfish, Adaeze," Zara admitted, standing outside Adaeze's door. "I'm sorry for everything I did, but I've lost Shuka too, and now I'm alone. I understand now." Adaeze listened quietly, her heart heavy but calm. "I don't know what you want from me, Zara, but I've moved on. And it's time you did the same." Zara left with a sad nod, but Adaeze felt a sense of closure she hadn't realized she needed. The past was truly behind her now. Adaeze had always dreamed of starting her own business. Something small that she could grow into something bigger. So one afternoon, Shuka surprised her with a small gift. A notebook, the kind she used to jot down her business ideas. "I know you've been wanting this, Adaeze," he said, his voice sincere. "I'm here to support you, no matter what." Adaeze smiled, tears welling up in her eyes. "Thank you, Shuka. This means more to me than you know." It was a simple gesture, but it was a sign that things were moving in the right direction, one small step at a time. Time passed, and things weren't always easy. There were days when Adaeze would catch herself doubting Shuka's commitment. But she reminded herself that healing wasn't a straight path. It was full of ups and downs, twists and turns. One evening, after a difficult conversation with her friends, Shuka came to her with a simple statement. "I know I've made mistakes, but I'm here. I'm not leaving." Adaeze nodded. Though she didn't say much, she knew the journey ahead would be long, but for the first time in a long time, she felt ready to face it together. One evening, as Shuka and Adaeze sat together, Shizum suddenly came up to them with a serious question. "Mommy, Daddy," she said, a small voice innocent yet full of wisdom. "Are you happy now?" Adaeze looked at Shuka, her heart full. "We are getting there, Shizum," she replied. "We are taking it one day at a time." Shuka smiled, and for a brief moment, the past seemed distant. In that moment, they were a family again, and that was enough. Adaeze had learned that forgiveness wasn't something that could be rushed. It was a process, one that took time. But every small gesture, every kind word, and every effort Shuka made helped heal her heart a little more each day. One evening, as they sat on the couch together, Shuka took her hand. "I'm not perfect, Adaeze," he said quietly, "but I'm trying. I'm trying for us." Adaeze looked at him, a heart full of a love that had never completely faded. "And that's all I need, Shuka. Just keep trying." One Sunday, the family went to the park, enjoying a rare day without worries. Shizum ran ahead with her friends, and Shuka and Adaeze sat on a bench watching her. The sun was shining, and for the first time in a long time, they felt like a real family again. "This feels right," Adaeze said softly, glancing at Shuka. "It does," he replied, his voice full of hope. "Maybe we can have more days like this." They sat together, side by side, not needing to say anything more. Sometimes, silence spoke louder than words. Life had returned to a new normal. Adaeze's business was growing, and Shuka was proving himself day by day. They had learned to trust each other again, slowly but surely. One evening, as they sat together after dinner, Adaeze turned to Shuka. "I'm proud of you," she said quietly. Shuka smiled, his eyes filled with gratitude. "And I'm proud of you, Adaeze. We've both come a long way." They weren't where they once were, but they weren't where they had been either. They were somewhere new, somewhere better. One evening, as Shuka was eating out of work, he stood by Adaeze's side and handed her a small box. "I know I've made many mistakes," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. "But I wanted to show you that I'm committed in every way." Adaeze opened the box carefully, revealing a simple gold bracelet. Nothing too fancy, but meaningful. She looked up at Shuka, surprised. "I've been trying to find the right way to show you, Adaeze," he said. "This is just a small gesture. A reminder that I'm here and I'm not going anywhere." Adaeze smiled softly, touched by his word. "Thank you, Shuka. It means a lot." Adaeze's business was beginning to take off. She had worked hard, putting her ideas into action, and it was paying off. She was proud of herself, but more than that, she was grateful for the support Shuka had given her. So one evening, as they sat together discussing a plan for the future, Adaeze said, "I'm not doing this alone anymore, Shuka. You've been with me through it all, and that's something I will never take for granted." Shuka smiled. "I'm proud of you, Adaeze. You've always had the strength, and now the world is saying it." Adaeze nodded, feeling a sense of fulfillment. "We are doing this together now." Trust, Adaeze knew, wasn't something that could be rebuilt in a day, but Shuka's consistent efforts were beginning to prove his sincerity. One evening, as they sat on the couch, Shizom asked Shuka a question. "Daddy, will you always stay with us now?" Shuka looked at his daughter. His heart fell. "Yes, Shizom," he said softly. "I'm staying with you, with all of you. I'm here for good." Adaeze listened, her heart swelling with emotions. Maybe they were still on the road to healing, but for the first time, it felt like they had finally arrived at a new beginning. Some nights, when words were no longer needed, Adaeze and Shuka would sit together quietly. Life had become simpler. There were still challenges, but they faced them together. One such night, as they watched Shizom sleep, Shuka leaned over and whispered, "I don't know how to say it, Adaeze, but I know we are getting stronger. Slowly but surely." Adaeze nodded, her heart calm. "We are," she said, "one day at a time." And in that silence, they understood each other more than words ever could. Shuka had come a long way, but Adaeze knew that the road to forgiveness and full healing wasn't always smooth. There were moments when holdout would creep into her mind. Moments when she wasn't sure if she could fully trust him again, but she reminded herself that he was trying. One evening, as they sat together, Adaeze turned to Shuka. "You know, sometimes I still wonder if this is real," she confessed, her voice quiet. Shuka's eyes softened. "I understand, Adaeze. I can't expect you to trust me completely, just like that. But I will prove it to you every day, for as long as it takes." Adaeze didn't say much, but she reached out and squeezed his hand. It was enough, for now. One day after work, Shuka came home with a bouquet of flowers. They weren't anything extravagant, just some simple daisies. But for Adaeze, it was the thought that mattered most. "I thought this might brighten your day," Shuka said, smiling as he handed them to her. Adaeze couldn't help but smile. "Thank you," she said, feeling her heart soften. It was the little things, the consistent effort, the thoughtfulness that were rebuilding their bond. One Saturday, the family went to a local market together. Shuka, Adaeze, Shizom walked through the busy streets of Lagos, picking out fruits and vegetables. It was a simple outing, but it felt right. There was laughter, chatter, and an undeniable connection between them. As they walked home, Adaeze glanced at Shuka. You know, this feels good, she said. Shuka smiled. It's the simple thing, Adaeze. I'm learning. So one quiet evening, Adaeze stood by the window, looking out at the sunset. Shuka came up behind her and stood in silence. I've been thinking, Adaeze, he said after a moment. The man I was, the one who walked away from you, it wasn't the man I wanted to be. But I'm trying to be better. For you and for us. Adaeze turned to face him, a heart full of mixed emotions. I know, Shuka, and that's all I can ask for. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy, but it was progress. Adaeze received an invitation to speak at another woman's conference. This time, it wasn't just about survival. It was about thriving after the storm. She was excited, but also nervous. She wasn't sure if she was ready to share her story again. Shuka, however, was ready to support her. You've got this, Adaeze, he said. You've always had the strength, and now the world is watching. Adaeze took a deep breath. I'm ready. Let's show them that we can rebuild. It wasn't a grand celebration. It was just a simple dinner with friends and family. But as Adaeze looked around at the people who had supported them through the toughest time, she realized something important. She was stronger than she ever thought she could be. As they sat together, Shuka raised a glass. To us, he said, his voice full of emotion. To second chances. Adaeze smiled. To second chances, she repeated. And in that moment, they both knew this was only the beginning. The moral of the story is, true redemption requires time, effort, and sincerity. It's not enough to say sorry. One must show through action that they are truly committed to change. Trust, once broken, takes time to rebuild. But with patience, understanding, and genuine love, even the most painful wound can begin to heal. In life, we must remember that forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. And second chances, when had, can lead to a stronger, more resilient future. This story teaches the value of accountability, the importance of second chances, and the strength it takes to rebuild trust in relationships. It also highlights how love, when nurtured with patience and effort, can heal even the deepest scars. Thank you.